Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Redlands. It is time for our meditation. So I'm going to invite you to sit comfortably with your feet flat on the floor. Allow your back to be nice and tall, but not tense. Allow yourself to be fully present in your chair or on your cushion. And have your hands open and receptive in your lap. And I invite you to close your eyes and gently allow your forehead to soften. Allow your eyes to soften. And bring your awareness to the center of your being, wherever that is for you. And breathe into that center. And as you breathe into that center, I invite you to use the mantra, I am love, I am divine. I am love, I am divine. Just rest in that mantra and in that breath at your center. Should your mind wander, as it does, just gently bring it back to your breath. And on the inhale, repeat, I am love. And on the exhale, repeat, I am divine. Just focus right there. Staying with the breath and with the mantra, I am love, I am divine. love. I am divine. Staying with the breath. This time, affirm, I am peace. I am divine. I am peace. I am divine. I am peace. I am divine. And back to the breath and the mantra. I am peace. I am divine. And as we bring our awareness back to this room, into this time and space, I invite you to hold those mantras with you this day. And now you can wiggle your fingers and toes, ground yourself in the room, and whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too.
God loves you and I love you too.
Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together. We come together
In the
in the name of love.
Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together in the name of love.
From every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other, yeah. Now look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you.
Namaste, I bow to you.
Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of
Yeah,
love.
we come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come
Yeah,
together.
we come together.
We come together in the name of love.
That's Reverend Carrie on the background vocals. One woman choir.
my goodness. Okay. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in beautiful Redlands, California on this beautiful morning. We're so happy that you're here, and we are an open and inclusive community that honors all people from every background, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are on your journey of faith, know that you are always welcome here. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for everyone. If you're here with us for the first time this morning, please raise your hand. The first time this morning? Get it? Okay. And we welcome everyone this morning. If you are here for the first time on our Zoom service, we are happy to have you. And now we can love and greet everyone by saying hello and good morning. So if you want to on your Zoom, you can unmute your mics and say hello to us and to all of you on Zoom.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hello, greetings.
Good morning, everyone. Grand Rising.
Morning.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Renee.
Hi.
Hi. I hear your voice. Very much your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Hey, no kitty.
It's wonderful that we can all be here together in one way or another. I love that idea. And now Gilman will center us with the centering music.
Original centering music.
Yes.
When we are grateful for our blessings, then we are in a state of grace. When we appreciate the small things, big transformation can take place. Sound of the ocean in a seashell, sight of the stars in outer space, smell of good food upon the table, touch of a friend when we embrace. When we are grateful for our blessings, then we are in a state of grace. We can recall a sense of wonder, spreading a smile across our face.
And so we take a moment to bring our eyes closed, bringing our awareness to the beautiful words of that song and the beautiful melody, allowing it to center within us. And so we recognize the divine presence that is all there is throughout the universe, throughout all life, within every molecule of air, that presence and power that has created all things out of itself and has created each of us. And I know that each of us is we are divine, we are love, we are that peace, we are all that God is, and God is all that we are. And so I speak my word this morning for this service and for each one who is here this morning. I know that we are all here by divine appointment, and that there is inspiration and healing already present for us through this service. I bless all the words that will be spoken, all the notes of music, all of the lyrics, every moment. I know that this service is a blessing to all of us, and outwardly a blessing to this community. So I give thanks. I give deep thanks, knowing that the words I have already spoken are already being worked upon by that wonderful creative law that is the divine. And so I release my words into that law and know that it is already so. And we can claim it together by saying, and so it is.
So it is.
Our reading this morning is from the Science of Mind textbook. And I actually decided that I wanted to read it right out of the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. It is entitled, it's on page 558, and it is entitled, Peace is the Power at the Heart of God. My peace is found at the heart of God. The heart of God for me is found at the very center of my being. It does not matter how closely the confusion of the outer world presses against me. I am not even disturbed by the confusion in my immediate environment. I know that the only way to counteract confusion is to bring peace into play. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. These words of assurance stay with me, and I hear them echoing in the depths of my being. I surrender all of my fears, those nameless fears which have beset me for such a long time, dulling my pleasure and clouding with misery and apprehension all of my days. I am now through with fear. What indeed is there for a divine and immortal being to fear? Certainly not people, for as I am a divine and immortal being, so is every person, and every person is my brother or sister. I recognize the one life principle working in and through and inspiring the motives of everyone I contact. I do not fear sickness, disease, or death because the eternal and the perfect life animates my body and goes about its perfect work, healing and renewing that body. I'm not afraid of want or lack, for the one infinite essence supplies me with everything I need all of the time. There is nothing for me to fear, for I am an inseparable part of God. I live in God, God lives in me, and I draw upon his perfect peace. My peace is found at the heart of God.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Would he be happy? Every life has some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. Landlord said your rent is late. He might have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. Look at me, I'm happy. Don't worry, be happy. I give you my phone number. When you worry, call me, I make you happy. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no gal to make you smile, but don't worry, be happy. When you worry, your face will frown. That will bring everybody down. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't you worry, just be happy.
Wow, thank you, Gilman. All right. Well, good morning. I am so happy to be back here this morning to see all of you and all of you on Zoom. And I want to thank Brother Mark for doing a fantastic job last Sunday. Thank you so much. It's, yeah. You're really good at that, you know. So, last week was a really eventful week for me in that I got to practice the idea of the talk today. The title of the talk is "This Too Is God," and they put a question mark after that. This too is God? This is God? And so it really got me to thinking about how oftentimes we think of things as good or bad, but it really is all God. And I want to talk about that this morning. Now, the thing that occurs to me with this title, "This Too Is God," is the phrase, "This too shall pass." And in Scripture, it'll say, "This came to pass." So things in our life have come to pass through our lives. So, and nothing is permanent, and that's a good thing. Sometimes we want it to stay like it is, but sometimes things come along in our life that kind of tumble us and put us in another place, so we don't want that to stay. We want that to pass. True? Yeah. So last week, I found myself in a place of having an infection. I wasn't quite sure what was wrong with me, but I didn't have any energy. And the first thing I thought of was COVID. Oh my God, I've got COVID. Well, I'm fully vaccinated. I have all my shots. I'm just waiting for the tags, you know. So I was really feeling awful, but I thought, yeah, I can do Sunday. It'll be fine. So I kept up that frame of mind, and it was working for a little while. And then on Saturday, I realized I was not going to make it to Sunday to stand here in front of you folks. So, and you know, when you have an infection, your body just like, there's nothing you can do to kind of spruce things up. I was eating right and all of that. But I decided to look up the spiritual or the metaphysical reason for an infection. And part of my infection was a sty in my eye. And it really hurt. It was really big. It blurred my vision. It was just not fun. So I looked up the spiritual reason for a sty, and that reason stuck with me. Because a sty in the eye, it signifies that we are looking through eyes of anger, maybe resentment. Whoa. And so when I read that, I thought, I don't do that. I'm a minister, for heaven's sake. I don't do those things. Well, I really started noticing what I'm noticing. I really became very mindful of what I was thinking and how I was responding to people. Now, true, while I was ill last week, I was pretty grumpy. And I even yelled at my dog, which doesn't happen at all. I hardly ever get mad, but I was just grumpy. So I really had to look to find out what was going on within me. And I realized subconsciously I was on a track of judging people around me. Now I live with my youngest daughter and her family, and there are 2 teenage boys in the house. And so, you know, teenagers are doing their thing. They have friends over, they play games and have their music and all of that, and I'm fine with that. But last week I was not fine with that. And I was judging them. I was judging everything that was going on around me. And then I helped to facilitate the visioning class on Tuesday night. And at the beginning of visioning class, I had just realized that what I had been doing. And so I was still kind of in this state of irritation at the beginning of class. But as I sat in class and as I helped facilitate, and Corliss, my good friend who is a practitioner, she and I facilitated that class. The discussion was awesome, and by the end of the class, I thought, oh, okay, now I'm good. I can do this. Well, there was still more to be done because I found myself being angry and resentful to people in my past, for heaven's sake. So all of this came bubbling up last week so that I got to heal it. And when I decided to look at everything from a place of love, from a place of knowing that this too is God, in that it is a lesson for me to embrace, then I began to feel better and better. And it was amazing how the sty went down. Now, of course, the doctor had put me on antibiotics, and I was using a therapy that I use for styes, because this is not the first time I've had it. So that tells me something, doesn't it? All the while I thought I was just so pure with my halo shining, and here I was subconsciously doing some resentment and anger. Well, looking at everything through the eyes of love has changed how things are looking in my life. Wayne Dyer said that. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's profound, and it's true. So we get to have those moments that come into our life that we can take as a lesson that allows us to move through that lesson so that we can rise up to the next level of our becoming. Wow. So the sty is still kind of there. It made itself known to me this morning, and I went, oh, you're still there, looking in the mirror. I've got more work to do. I'll be doing that. A little more eye therapy, a little more inner therapy. Because there is truth, I believe, in the mind-body connection. And so, when we are in those kinds of places that we would rather not be in, we need to look within us to see where we need to change a little bit, where we need to refocus ourselves so that whatever it is that's in front of us that might be irritating us can move along on its path, and then we can move forward. It's so much nicer. Life is so much better that way. Now, one of the things that I realized as I was preparing this talk is that some people have a problem with the word God. Some folks have been, you might say, abused in other religions where God is the focal point. And I get that. And so God becomes almost not an enemy, but just a force that some people would rather not talk about. And I have a friend like that. And she has helped me to open my awareness to the fact that if we think of God as this universal presence, this universal energy, spiritual energy perhaps, then it's even more profound. It's sort of like God is a shorthand for all there is. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I had a really insightful conversation with her about that. And then I got to thinking about, actually, in visioning class, someone asked, what is universal mind? Because in visioning class, we talk about how we live in universal mind. When we think about it, we are living in the presence of the divine. We are living in this universal energy that is so amazing that it has created everything we can see, and even the stuff we can't see. So we live in that. And someone asked about that, can you explain it a different way? And so I explained that if we think about a fish swimming in the water, and another fish approaches that first fish and says, excuse me, can you tell me where the water is? The first fish might not know what they're talking about because they're swimming in it. It's all around them. It's who they are. And that's the same with us. We are living in universal creative mind. And it always responds to us. It always says yes, no matter what we say. Ooh, that's scary. So it's important for us to remember that whatever it is we say, the universe is saying yes to, so that we don't move off into another whole thing of having stuff come into our life that we wish would pass away. Now, I want to say, too, that in the current society that we're in, with all of the things around social unrest, political unrest, there's wars and things going on around the world, and there's children that need care, and there is so much out there. There's so much. And so when we think about all that's going on in the world and we watch the news, then we can see that there too is the divine. There too is God. In the middle of that is God. Now, it might not look like it to people who are hungry and don't have a home. Well, where's God in that? They might say, well, perhaps it's a lesson for them, and perhaps it's a way for us to awaken to the fact that there are people that we could help. And if we allow ourselves to step into the gifts that we can bring to that situation, then there too is God. Do you see what I'm saying? And there is, in the social unrest, it occurred to me last night, just as I was drifting off to sleep, that people down through history, especially our people of color, who have gone through so much in history through slavery and through all the discrimination, and these days really trying to make all people aware of what it is like to be a person of color, then I was thinking, wow, this too is God. Because all that they have gone through, those are the brave people on this planet, as far as I'm concerned, because they went through so much. And now they're making all of us more aware of what they've gone through and what they no longer will stand for, because they are people just like us. They're God beings just like us. They are the presence of the divine in living color, just like us. So there is God in all of the things that they have been going through. I was on a ministerial call a couple of weeks ago, and one of our ministers is a black woman who explained that she felt pretty much alone at the time that the verdict came down about the policeman who had was charged with murdering the person he arrested. I don't remember the policeman's name at this moment.
And George Floyd?
Yeah.
Derek Chauvin?
Yeah, that's right. He was found guilty. This black woman explained that she was in such a turmoil about that situation, and she would have loved it if someone would have called her and said, "How are you doing? How are you doing?" Just a simple touch in with me and ask me how I'm doing and make sure I'm okay. It wasn't that she disagreed with the verdict, it was just a horrible situation to have to relive, and she was feeling it. And feeling it for all of the people who had passed in violent ways like that. So it brought to mind the fact that all of the people that are going through all that they're going through are doing so because there is an earthly lesson that needs to be learned. And if we can begin by just talking to someone, by calling someone and say, "How are you doing today? How did this particular event affect you, and what can I do to support you?" That's all it takes, just a friendly hello, basically. And when we do that, we are giving our gifts, which helps them, which helps us, which helps the next person down the line. It is a way for us to see that, yes, this is God, and so am I, and I can act as the divine and bring my love to that situation. In a family dynamic, sometimes there's disagreements, and people have a difficult time with a particular family member, and all of that happens. I think, I'm not sure, but I think it happens so that that family can live through that lesson and grow into a better family unit. I have my youngest daughter and her husband are very proud of the fact that they've been married for 22 years. And the reason that they're so proud of it is because the first, 15 years or so, there was constant fighting. There was constant anger. It was constant. And the children who grew up in that home, my grandchildren, are so solid, and so they know exactly what they don't want to do in their life, and that is be like what they witnessed in their mom and dad growing up. Now, and I know that she has no problem with my sharing this kind of thing because we talk about it often, and she says, you know, it's like we are an example of the family who went through so much, and then mom and dad grew up and realized that not every little thing is a huge deal to be fought over. Isn't that amazing? But they grew through it, and that too was God. Now, this family unit is an amazing family. The kids are all fine. Mom and dad are off in Catalina this weekend, having a wonderful time and celebrating their 22nd anniversary. It's so amazing to me that all of that happened because they found the lesson. They found what they needed to do to rise up out of where they were and into a better place. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. And when we do those kinds of things, when we allow ourselves to rise up out of where we are and into where we can go and grow and be even more than who we currently are, that allows us to be an influence for other people. And then they do the same thing and they influence other people. So it's sort of like being an influencer on Facebook, you see. We get to help influence other people to live their very best life. There's a story about David R. Hawkins, who calibrated human consciousness from its lowest vibration, which is shame, to its highest vibration, which is enlightenment. And he concluded that higher consciousness radiates a beneficial and healing effect on the world. Higher consciousness. That might even be that consciousness that says, you know, I know that you and I have political differences. I would like to hear your side. I would like to know what you feel. And just listen. And then perhaps you can share your side and come to an understanding. Understanding another person's point of view is so loving and so amazing because it allows each person to be lifted up into higher consciousness. So what if we gave that gift to ourselves and to other people we might know? Mr. Hawkins also created a chart to explain in detail what the mystics have always known. Love is more powerful than hatred. Amen. And the truth sets us free. That's what he discovered in his work. So it's important for us to increase our vibration. And how do we do that? Perhaps we could stop complaining. Darn it. Sometimes it's fun to just get it off your chest, right? Yeah. But if we stop complaining continually in our inner mind, it will help us to kind of move up and out of that dark place that's actually negative. So there's a way for us to raise our vibration. And another way to raise our vibration is to stay focused on the love that is in front of us. And I'm talking about from the little tiniest thing to the great big thing. I was stopped at a traffic light the other day, and I looked up at that light and I went, you know, I love traffic lights. It just brings order to our traffic flow. And then I thought back to a trip I took to Mexico with some friends, and we were on a tour bus that was painted in wild colors and had a big horn on the side that the driver would blow every time he came to the intersection because there was no control over the intersection and it was just all traffic. And so he'd just blow his horn and mash right on through the intersection. I'm glad we don't have to do that here. Sometimes we do when people run the stoplights. But my point is loving everything. The stoplight, the shower curtain, the paper I print my talk on, the microphone I use, and every person that's in my life. I invite you to do that this week, to really know that even though things look a little crummy, that is God. That is the divine. That is the infinite mind, the universal mind, working with you to bring you to the next level. And when we keep our vibration up, we attract what it is we're vibrating. Awesome stuff. So we're going to stop complaining. We're going to look with the eyes of love. And every once in a while, I don't know about you, but I know about me. Once in a while, I say a curse word. And when it's really serious, I say 3 curse words in a row that I learned from my friend. And they're not horribly bad. I won't say them here, but they're not horribly bad. But still, if we stop cursing, it raises our vibration because we're not bringing that negative energy into our life. Does that make sense? Maya Angelou wouldn't let anyone who was visiting with her curse at all because she wanted to keep her vibration at a high level. That's pretty cool. So that's what we can do this week in order to see all of the good that's in every situation and to know that our planet is really working through huge, hard lessons to bring us to a planet of peace. I so believe that. So this week, our spiritual practice, it's for me too, is to love everything that you see, stop complaining, and stop cursing. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah, okay. All right, and our affirmation this week is, I see with the eyes of love, speak words of love, and allow spirit to celebrate life through me. All right, I'll say part of it and then you can repeat it. And you folks on Zoom, you can do that too. I see with the eyes of love, speak words of love, I allow spirit to celebrate life as me. And so it is. Namaste.
My dad was an engineer. He always said, instead of complaining, there's 3 things that you can do. First thing is admit that there's a problem. Second thing is write down exactly what the problem is. And then the third thing is solve it. Okay. This is a song by Amy Steinberg. My eyes are wide open. My eyes can see. My mind is knowing, my mind believes. I am awake. I am awake. Want you know where your freedom lies? You can't go back and close your eyes. Truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light, yeah. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. My heart is clear and growing. My heart can see. My soul is full of knowing. My soul believes. I am awake. I am awake. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. Truth it cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Yeah, you are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Yeah. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. Truth it cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Yeah, you are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Hey, yeah, you are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light.
Yes, indeed. You are the light. Yes. All right. We have announcements. Our Wednesday night midweek service is presented for your midweek boost, and Reverend Dr. Renee Hart does a beautiful job with a guided meditation and then a message afterwards. It's all on Facebook Live. It won't happen here at church yet, but it's on Facebook Live from 7 to 8 p.m. And if you watch your email, you will see that David sends out a link for Wednesday night service, and you can click on that link and off you go. It's a wonderful experience, 7 to 8 on Wednesday nights. And are we taking pictures at all in the sanctuary yet? We were going to.
Well, I've taken a lot.
Oh, good, 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 good.
Definitely could use some more pictures.
All right, all right.
I'll probably go over that at the board meeting.
Yes, yes. If you happen to have any pictures, historical pictures of our center, you might present them to David or Ed. And we're producing a video for our church to help our marketing and to help attract the perfect minister to step into this pulpit and be here for 30 years. And so for those of you on Zoom who might not know, our sanctuary is open now on Sunday mornings, and we are also doing service on Facebook Live, of course, Zoom, and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can help us achieve 100 subscribers, and then we get our own YouTube channel. Then we'll be just like the big kids. And let's see, what else? We'll have a short fellowship after our service here today, and following that will be our board meeting. So please hang out with us, stay after service and visit with us, and then we'll move on to our board meeting. And now we're going to move into the time for our offering. So I invite all of us to give from that place of love, to give from that place of the fact that the divine, God, is our source. God is our source. And so when we give from that place, from that overflowing abundance that we can feel inside, that helps the law of circulation bring back into our experience even more that we can give. You can donate to our church using the buttons on our website or on Facebook. You can donate using Venmo, which is a slick way to go. Zelle, you can set that up through your bank. That's also pretty slick. And PayPal, we use that as well. And you can write a check. You can put it in the offering bowl, or you can put cash in the offering bowl too. We accept cash. And if you want to mail your check to us, you can do that, or if you're driving by and want to drop your check off in our secure mailbox, you can certainly do that as well. So let's take our offering in our hand if you have it. I've already given mine this week. So let's put our offering in our hand and our hands on our heart if you wish, and let's repeat our offering affirmation together. From the love of pure spirit within me.
Love of pure spirit within me.
A little louder. I bless this gift.
I bless this gift.
Yes. I send it forth to heal, bless, and prosper.
Send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It's evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world.
It does great work in the world.
And it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
So it is.
Yes. And here's our offering music.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for all that you give and for all that you do for our Center for Spiritual Living. We've come to the time for our closing healing prayer. If you have a prayer request and you're watching us on Zoom, feel free to contact us here at the church at CSL Redlands at cslredlands.org. And we will be more than happy to receive that prayer request by email. And we make sure that all of our practitioners have those requests so that they can stay in prayer for you. In the sanctuary, we have prayer request forms on the chairs. And if you'd like to fill that out and place it in the offering bowl, we are more than happy to accept that and pass it on to our practitioners, who, by the way, hold every prayer request in confidence. So nothing will be spilled out into the world about your prayer request. Now, let's take a moment to go into our healing prayer. Let's take a moment to close our outer eyes and open wide those inner spiritual eyes. Let's take a nice big deep breath, breathing in the love of spirit, the love of perfection, that beautiful life and power and presence and breath that is God, that is the divine. It is everywhere present. It is fully present throughout the universe, throughout our being, It is within all life, from the tiniest ant to the largest elephant, in the sun, the moon, the stars, every blade of grass, every grain of sand. This is all God. The waves of the ocean, the water in our homes, the loved ones by our side. It's all God. And so I know, because we are already unified in that one mind, in that one power and presence, I know for each of us this day, we move forward into life with love in our hearts, and we see all things with the eyes of love. And I know that we come into every conversation with a sense of love, with bringing our heart, bringing our listening, bringing our understanding. And I know that as we do that, we lift ourselves up and we lift up all those we contact. I speak my word for all of those within our community and beyond who may need shelter or food or medical care, or simply to feel safe and secure. And I know that each of these people they are blessed by the divine, because the divine is moving in, through, and as them in every moment. And every person they contact is an angel to their life. I speak my word for all of those folks who are doing the work in the world to help all of those who need shelter or food or safety or simply a kind word. I give thanks for all of the people who are essential to holding each of us up in that beautiful love that is God. I speak my word this morning, knowing that peace is at the very center and heart of all people on this planet. I speak my word to know that we can lay down the idea of war and lift up and embrace the idea of peace. And know that we are the peace that lives and moves throughout this planet. We are that peace. I speak my word this morning for our Center for Spiritual Living, knowing that it continues to grow and thrive and become all that it is meant to be in this day and time. I give thanks for all of the people affiliated with this center down through the years, knowing that each one of them are in their right place and have done their right work to bring us here at this time and in this place. And I speak my word for every person who worships the divine in their way, every church, every synagogue, every mosque. Every form of worship is a blessing to this planet. Every good work is a blessing to this planet. And this planet is comprised of all of the wonderful human beings and animals and gifts that lives within the divine mind. And so there is only this beautiful giving and taking that allows everyone to be fed and nourished and lifted up with nourishing words, with spiritual values. And I speak my word, knowing that we are all safe and secure. Every member of our center lives in a place of safety. We bring our members, if you think of someone you would like to have brought into this prayer, I'd love for you to just whisper their names. Each member, each person, all those we love are brought into this prayer of safety, of love, of support, and peace. I'm so grateful to know that we can speak our word and the universe will say yes. And so I give thanks for all of the yeses that have already been said by Universal Mind to every word of prayer that I have spoken. I give thanks for all that is unfolding for everyone and all that is already present for us and for everyone we love. And so I release these words into that infinite law that is saying yes in this moment. And I release it with grace and with knowing that all is well, that all is manifesting purely and perfectly. And so we just lovingly let it be as we say together, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen. Ashe. Love in a holy, holy way.